It took a few months, but you find the destroyed site that you were looking for. And it is honestly worse than you thought. The door is jammed, and it takes a bit of force to get it open. You squeeze in, and suddenly, it's like you entered into another world. Inside, you find an empty hallway covered in what looks like meat and bones. There is also some black liquid spread around the area. It is disturbing, and the smell is horrible. You feel like vomiting your insides out, but that might attract something. Eventually, you get used to it and move on. There are some strange things here. Some fire and smoke, along with a lighter that had a GR scratched on it. A broken down door with a burned corpse inside. Some rooms that look like bedrooms for different people. One room had Chris drawn on the walls. The lights flicker while you walk past these weird things. They give you the resemblance of life, yet there is nothing here. Your footsteps are quiet, but at the same time, you feel like they are getting louder and louder by the minute. You find a door to what looks like a security office, but the door is locked. It takes a while, but you manage to break the lock. You find an old working computer in the middle of the room, along with a gun and a body in the corner of the room. You walk over to the screen, and there's more blood on it. Delightful, you think to yourself. You move the mouse and the screen changes. It has recordings of the news, some documents and videos. You move the mouse to the recording files and click on them. You make sure that these speakers are quiet and the door is closed. The video shows a young woman, presumably a reporter, talking about the creatures. The date shows that it was 1 month into the outbreak. It feels like a lifetime ago. Do years of surviving really mess with time like that? Back then, you had just gotten home when you found your friends in the house with pieces of themselves missing. You cried, screamed and begged for help, yet that only brought more of those things near your home. The video continued and showed the chaos around the city. Animals, people, everybody were being attacked by the creatures for their amusement. Some tried to run, but the unlucky ones got grabbed by those creatures, and they were done unspeakable things. The memories of having a gun, a bucket, and some food supplies around you at all times for the first few weeks came flooding back into your mind. You paused the video to stop yourself from crying from the painful memories, but also to make sure that there's nothing following you or in this building. After a few minutes of sitting in the corner, not saying anything, and listening, you decide that it is safe for you to continue to look through the computer again. You look through the documents and find video recordings in it. Curiosity gets the better of you, and you click the file. The screen flashes a bit and shows you a figure standing and looking at the camera. He says in a calm tone, Entry 1. My name is John Smith. I am a leading scientist in the new virus that we have created. I am documenting my attempt to survive in the world that me and my colleagues created. Originally, the virus was meant to cure other illnesses and diseases by multiplying and overpowering the illness. Unfortunately, the virus also attacked the other cells in the body, and at the same time multiplied and infected the individual, who would soon become a writhing, wriggling mass, which became the creature. But me and my colleagues are working on a better future. The recording ends, and you are left to think about what was said. Eventually, you decide to watch the next recording, and the recording after that, and the recording after that. Entry number 2. Things are looking better. Greg got the electricity working. He really knows his electronics and stuff. Jen is keeping the morale up like the angel she is. And Chris has made some improvements to the entrance. Meanwhile, the rest of us are working together to find a way to either cure the disease or find a way to start life again. All we can do now is pray for the best. Entry number 3. Things seem to have changed kind of. The power went out for the first time, and it was getting hard to get work done. I really feel tired, but hey, at least I'm not alone in the city. Entry number 4. Chris decided to go out and find supplies. Jen objected, but he left anyway. I think Jen didn't like the fact that I didn't support her. The screen flickers and shows a tired, sad man who looks like he had been through the worst. He tries to talk in a positive voice, but you can hear the despair in his voice, like a part of him had just died. Entry number 5. They never came back. We went out looking for them until his tracks disappeared. Jen cried all night after that. It feels like all the positivity has left her, like she has given up on being happy. We talked to her and told her if she needed somebody to talk to, then we were there to support her. Our project might have gotten us some new results, but we need to continue testing. Entry number 6. In the middle of the night, we heard it knocking on the door. We all thought that it was a few of the infected people, and they were ready to attack us. But when we got to the doors and used the cameras to look outside, we saw Chris. Parts of him had fallen off, and other parts were missing, and he almost didn't look human. Jen had to be held back when she saw him. For a few days, he continued to knock on the door, asked us to let him in, kept telling Jen he was alright, and other insane stuff. We honestly hated having to hear that. Hopefully the cure is almost finished. The screen flickers for the 6th time, but this time, the figure is standing in a different room. You hear indistinguishable noises coming from the video. Entry number 7. Jen opened the gates last night and just ran away. We don't know what happened to her, but I hope she is in a better place. Anyway, the creatures got in, and many of us were attacked, or worse. Greg got grabbed by his leg, and one of them almost ripped it off. Thankfully, fire is somewhat effective, so using Greg's lighter that he uses to smoke, I got the things to let him go. The sound of doors breaking is heard in the recording. Greg, get ready. We have to move. Entry number 8. Greg was infected. I offered to put him out of his misery, but he said that he wanted to go out on his own. I left him behind, and now I'm hiding in a security office. I have a gun just in case, some food and water, and my laptop. This might be the last hope for humanity. Entry number 9. Life truly is a mystery. I found something. Some documents. It turns out that this was the site administrator's office, and there were some documents on the table. What I found in them, I can't explain. But if anybody is watching, then know that the virus and outbreak and all that, it was planned. There was some secret, some mystery that these site owners had, and they didn't want the world to know. Maybe they wanted to see what happened, or maybe they just had some more sinister motives. I don't care anymore. All hope is lost. I'm gonna end this recording once and for all, but just know that whatever you find in those files, they are truly horrible. I never believed in God, nor heaven or hell, but wherever I end up, it has to be better than this. The tape ends and the whole room is silent again. In the corner of the room is the body of Dr. John Smith. He has been dead for a long time. You look for some files under the laptop, wanting to know what drove the man mad and what he was talking about. Eventually, you find the documents inside the computer labeled as MI666. You open the files, but they just have scrambled garbage on it. It read, Document MI666. 1. Do you have the virus? Yeah, I do, but what about the other members? Forget about them. This is more important. We have to kill it. But what about the people? If we suddenly drop this virus into the world out of thin air, the people will think something is wrong. Won't the other 11 members suspect us? I already told them about our plan. We can't wait anymore. Just make up a cure for some other disease, something like that going wrong. But will this thing kill it? We have to hope. If any human comes into contact with it, then they have to be taken out with this. And what if it fails? Then what? Then humanity will be remembered as the creatures that tried to fight it. Now, we have no more time to waste. Start the spread if you don't want to end up like 14. Yes, sir. End report. You don't understand what any of that means. It's so frustrating that you slam your hands onto the table. Even worse is that you suddenly hear a noise out in the corridor. You don't know if it was just in your head, another survivor, or one of the infected. You peek out the door and see the face of a man mounting off while keeping a huge smile on his face. He tries to walk into you and grab you. You pull away and grab the laptop along with your supplies. You run down the hallway, hearing more and more voices call out to you. You find an office that is empty, and you slam the door shut. You lock and barricade it to make sure that nothing gets in or out. You fall to your knees to rest from all that running and adrenaline. You feel the cold air coming through the vents and feel safe until the door starts to get hit. You don't know what to do. You decide that even if you can't survive this, you will try to stop others from coming here. Your hands shake while writing everything that happened. Maybe somebody will find out what the text means. Maybe they will be warned about coming to this area, or at the very least, they will now know that there are documents about the end of the world.